I call to order the regular meeting of the Hoover City Council on September 5th, 2017. On behalf of the mayor, the council, and the city staff, I'd like to welcome our citizens and guests. Thank you for joining us this evening. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Lyda? Dr. Middlebrooks?
Here.
Mr. Murphy?
Here.
Mr. Posey?
Here.
Mr. Shaw?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
If everyone would please stand for our invocation given by our city clerk, Margie Hamley. Remain standing for the pledge of allegiance led by Councilman Clerk Posey.
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for your love and mercy. Thank you for the gift of this day and all of the blessings in it. Each one of us here has our own prayers of praise and gratitude, and we offer them to you now. In unity, we offer prayers for all of the victims of Hurricane Harvey, especially those who lost family members and friends. Give them courage and strength in the long journey ahead of rebuilding their lives. And now for those in the path of Hurricane Irma, we ask your protection, and if it be your will, that no lives be taken by this massive storm. In your name we pray. Amen.
Salute and pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes. Each council member has received a copy of the minutes for review. I'll take a motion.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of the minutes without reading.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The minutes are approved as submitted. Reports. We have several important items in our report section tonight. The Aga Khan Foundation walk is our first report item. Will the representatives of this foundation please come to the front to share information about this event? Please state your name.
I'm Malik Bairani from Aga Khan Foundation, and this is my team over here with me. We are going to just talk about a little bit our walk, which is happening this Sunday in Hoover. But before that, distinguished members of Hoover Council, Mayor Frank Vaccaro, and present members over here. This is our 11th walk, 11th Aga Khan Foundation walk in Birmingham. And as I said earlier, that this is on this Sunday at Veterans Park in Hoover. So we are here to invite each and every individual as we are marking 50th anniversary of Hoover, and at the same time it's our 50th anniversary of Aga Khan Foundation also. So it seems that we are growing both together, right? Getting older, so we need to support each other. Now I would request Inara, who is our young member, she's going to talk a little bit more about Aga Khan Foundation, and again she's going to invite all you guys. Thanks again for your time, and hope to see you guys all there. Thank you.
Respected City Council members, Mr. Mayor, and members present here, I am here to invite you all cordially for the Aga Khan Foundation 11th Walk, which will be held on Sunday, September 10th at Veterans Park. The Aga Khan Foundation partners with communities to improve their quality of life for generations. As a member of the Aga Khan Development Network, one of the world's leading poverty solutions network, we make long-term investments from early childhood programs to universities that benefit more than 2 million students each year. We build hospitals and schools to make sure that everyone has access to world-class institutions. We work with people as they build their community and their local economy. Our work impacts tens of millions of people in over 30 countries each year. We do this through partnerships with businesses, local organizations, and governments. We invest profits from economic ventures to build these deep investments in communities and their institutions. The Aga Khan Foundation USA is a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. Some examples include educating girls. The foundation believes in creating opportunities for girls and women. In the past decade, AKF and its partners in India helped 1.2 million children learn to read and have improved learning levels in 3,300 government schools. In the next 5 years, AKF India plans to double that, educating 1.5 million new readers in 750 preschools and 4,000 high schools. Half of these students are girls. AKF and partners also help families obtain clean drinking water and sanitation, with more than 80,000 households gaining access to potable water. In 2015, Aga Khan Foundation helped families construct over 10,000 toilets. Over the next 4 years, Aga Khan agencies will help improve hygiene and sanitation in 6 Indian states to ensure access to safe toilets for at least 700,000 people. Half of them will be women. As an initiative of the Aga Khan Foundation, AKF, the walk raises awareness and funds for the foundation's programs that help communities around the world to build better futures and improve their quality of lives. Event participants and donors help communities in some of the poorest areas of Africa and Asia. Contributions make a tremendous impact in creating locally driven opportunities. These efforts help build flourishing economies, which are cornerstones of a thriving community. The Charity Walk event is a day of fun and information that attracts high-level corporate executives, civic leaders, and celebrities. Since 1995, the Foundation's activities, including the annual walk and golf events, have attracted over 500,000 participants and raised over $98 million for poverty alleviation projects supported by the Foundation. This year, the walk will be held on September 10th, this Sunday, at Veterans Park. The walk is a fun-filled family event and there is no entry fee. There will be a 5K, 1K run for ages 7 and up and a 100-yard dash for ages 6 and under in the morning, followed by the signature walk, beginning at 12 p.m. There will be food, entertainment, and a silent auction, and games for the entire family to enjoy. The highlight of the walk is the Village in Action, which is created by youth that highlights the work of the Foundation. We really would like everyone to attend this year's walk as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of our beautiful city of Hoover, and as we come together to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Aga Khan Foundation at the walk this year at Veterans Park. Thank you.
Anybody else speaking? Come on. Mayor Cato will now present the City of Hoover's proclamation for GYN Cancer Awareness Month. Will all those involved in this presentation please come to the front? Mr. Fuller, are you reading the proclamation?
Yes, sir. Whereas gynecological GYN cancers
are among the leading cancer killers of women in the United States. More than 98,000 women will be diagnosed, and more than 30,000 women will die from these diseases this year. And the absence they leave in our hearts will be deeply felt forever. And whereas the Laura Crandall Brown Foundation and their State Appeal Initiative brings awareness of all GYN cancers to people throughout the state of Alabama, and whereas the good health and well-being of women in our state and the city of Hoover are enhanced by increased awareness of GYN cancers and their symptoms and treatments, and whereas it is also crucial that all women in our state and the city of Hoover take an active role in learning the symptoms and risk factors associated with GYN cancers, developing healthy habits, and undergoing regular medical examinations so that any occurrence of these diseases may be detected in their early and treatable stages. Whereas we reflect upon the memory of those lost to these diseases, the bravery of those currently battling these diagnoses, and the need for increased awareness, screening, and research, so that the women of our state and the city of Hoover might be spared from them in the future. I encourage all citizens to work together to raise awareness of GYN cancers. Now, therefore, I, Frank V. Brocato, Mayor of the city of Hoover, Alabama, do hereby proclaim September 2017 as Gynecologic Cancer Awareness Month throughout the city, and encourage all residents of Hoover to work together to raise awareness of GYN cancers and to commend this observance to all our citizens. Presented this the 5th day of September 2017.
Clark, I'd like to say something.
Thank you, Mr. President and Mayor. 15 years ago, we went into St. Vincent's Hospital to have a child, and the next morning we came out with ovarian cancer. And some of the guys in the back of the room were with me at that time and remember that time a long time ago, fortunately. My wife Kelly was diagnosed with a rare form of ovarian cancer that has an extremely low survivability rate because it's never detected. And had she not been there literally just to have a baby, it would not have been detected. So the work that these folks and people all around this state do to bring attention to ovarian cancer and GYN cancer awareness is critical, because we have members of our own community that we've lost to these cancers, and we have members of our community that are still with us because they were able to be diagnosed early enough. But that's the exception, and it needs to be the rule. We don't have an early treatment test for ovarian cancer. And so the money that's raised is spent here at UAB and at University of South Alabama Medical Center. And education is one of the most important components. So any woman that you know needs to understand the signs and symptoms of ovarian and GYN cancers. We appreciate the city for many, many years making this proclamation and helping us to spread the word about this important cause. Thank you.
Our second proclamation is for Constitution Week. I would like to invite those involved in this presentation to join Mayor Brocato at the front of the council chambers, please.
Is Miss Tracy Flom from the Lily of the Cahaba chapter is here, Beth Stewart and Halcyon Banham from the Cahaba chapter. So that's the Lily of Cahaba chapter, the Princess Sehoy chapter, and the Cahaba chapter. We have everyone? And Miss Sutley and Miss Schnipper. Thank y'all for coming up.
Mr. Corley, would you please read the proclamation?
Yes, sir. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to the rule by law. And whereas September 17, 2017 marks the 230th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document, this memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebration which will commemorate the occasion. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17 through September 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, I, Frank V. Brocato, by virtue of the authority of me as Mayor of the City of Hoover, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th to the 23rd as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. In witness whereof, I am here to set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Hoover to be affixed this the 5th day of September, the year of our Lord, 2017.
We have a little special something for the mayor, Tracy. Would you present this to Mayor Mercado, please? It's a Constitution pin, so he can remind everybody during Constitution Week. And also for the council members, we have some special little booklets for you.
Mr. Mayor and members of the council and members here, I do, as the state chairman for Constitution Week for Daughters of the American Revolution, I do want to thank the city of Hoover for their great support of Constitution Week. This is the 230th anniversary, so it's really a big deal. And we're happy about that, and we want you to really support it, especially in the schools. Let the kids know that this is a big celebration. And during September 17th through the 23rd, please encourage the kids to go to school and celebrate the anniversary of the signing of this great document. So thank you so much for your support, and we do appreciate that.
Council Murphy, it is my understanding that you will be updating us on the appointments to the Industrial Development Board this evening, is that correct?
Yes, sir. So, on our last work session, we decided not to appoint this go around Monday, but to have a committee meeting review the applications and to appoint our special call meeting on September. So, we had roughly 21 applicants, very strong applicants, very tough decision. From that, a little bit about the IDB board is it hopes to diversify City of Hoover with a strong retail that we have here. Look at other means from commercial to healthcare to technology to whatever opportunity we may have. We wanted to develop this board, the Industrial Development Board. The 7 applicants, the committee will be recommended to the full council is Brian Etheridge, Jeffrey Palmer, Jonathan Belcher, Dr. Joseph Horton, Josh Dennis, Anne Marie Stanford, and Andre Wright. So those are the seven appointees will be recommended to the full board on September 11th. Thanks so much, sir.
Thank you. At this time, Mayor Mercado would now like to introduce Hoover's new fire chief.
Thank you, Mr. President. We appreciate it. This is a great occasion for our city as we tonight name our 4th fire chief in the history of the city of Hoover. I would ask Chief Bentley if he would come down. Chief Clay Bentley, his wife Julie. Julie, would you come down as well? And we have son Brooks, daughters Annabelle and Abby Ross. Y'all would come down, we appreciate it. And we're glad to have in the audience tonight as well, Mickey and Teresa Davis. Plays mom and daddy-in-law, right? Treat them nicely. We're so excited to have Chief Bentley as our new fire chief. He's an outstanding individual, a wonderful family man. He can grow peaches too, if you don't know that about him. He comes from Chilton County, where he was raised as a farmer, a peach farmer, and did that all his life. I think he knows a little bit about work ethic. And he's been involved in his community in Chilton County all of his life, particularly in the volunteer fire department. He's worked with them even today. I think they're paid now, part paid, part volunteer. Chief Bentley spent 5 years with the Birmingham Fire Department, working on an engine company and a rescue unit. He's a paramedic as well. And he came to us, and he has now about 21 years with Hoover Fire Department. Started off as a firefighter here and rose through the ranks, and until last week he was the training chief. And I've known Clay for probably 27, 28 years. And I know him to be an outstanding individual, and we are really blessed, I believe, to have him as our chief. And I think that, we are a Class 1 fire department, and it's because of individuals that are standing back here in support of him tonight that we have that wonderful honor. And they do a tremendous job. The chiefs before you have laid an incredible foundation, starting out with a volunteer fire chief in 1962 when they started the volunteer fire department. And I've always wanted to say how important the fire department has been to our city. And to me, it was the base that was laid for our city to grow. And many leaders have come out of that department. So you have quite a legacy to stand up to, and we are confident that you can do that. We're going to have a swearing-in ceremony, but before we do that, I would love for the council to give us a vote of affirmation on that.
Mr. President, I move for a vote of affirmation on our new fire chief, Chief Bentley.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Chief. Oh, you want me? We'll have a little short reception after the meeting, right out here in the foyer, where we can give everyone an opportunity to meet the family and meet our new fire chief. At this time, Mayor Cato will present information regarding the budget for fiscal year ending 9/30/2018. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'd like to thank our staff for all the really hard work that they put in over the last few months developing this budget. We made every effort to fulfill the needs of our citizens. We are going to continue to offer the wonderful services that our citizens have become accustomed to. We will continue to provide a substantial payment to our school system. And we will provide around $10 million overall in various capital projects that will be everything from the information technology upgrades in our city that we
feel like we're woefully behind there, and we'll be able to invest in that and to bring it up to where it needs to be. There's certain road projects certainly that are in there, sidewalk projects, and our commitment to our neighborhood improvements you will find in this year's budget. We've not had to dip into our general fund reserves to manage these. So as we look ahead, we know that our sales tax revenues, it is slightly down, and so we don't know if that's a trend or an aberration, but as good managers, we want to be proactive in what we do and good stewards of the funds that are provided to us. So, to do that, we've undertaken some management techniques, principles. We've got a study underway that will project our revenue for the next 5 years. We're undertaking an employment compensation plan to see where we are in terms of the number of employees and how we attract our employees, just to make sure that we're competitive. And then we've talked about Future Hoover, which is going to give our citizens an opportunity to interact with all of us and let us know where they'd like to see our city go, but also how we may fund some of those initiatives as well. So we're presenting this budget to you tonight in hopes that we have it adopted at the September 29th special call meeting so that we can meet our October 1 fiscal year beginning. That's our goal. So over the next 25 days, you'll have ample opportunity to attend budget hearings, and of course, I will be available as well as Mr. Rice. Any questions that you have, we are certainly anxious to work with you and to work to achieve and to introduce this budget on time on September 29th. So with that, I would ask Dr. Lopez if she would come up and just give a brief presentation about the budget tonight and where we're going, and we will, I don't think that we will be glad to answer questions tonight. I don't know that you really know much about it, so we would ask that you take this with you and digest it, and we look forward to answering those questions in the next 25 days. Thank you, Dr. Lopez.
Thank you. Good evening. I thought what I would do is just walk you through the packet, just so you, just kind of what's included in it really quickly. Also, for the audience, there are some copies left out near the agendas if you wanted to get a copy for yourselves as well. I thought it was interesting today. I noticed it was almost 6 months to the day that we adopted the budget for fiscal 17, so we're here pretty quickly. Page 1, which is the second page after the cover, basically Mayor Brocato's transmittal letter that he just covered. If you were going to, page 2, if you were going to summarize the budget in one page, page 2 would be it. One thing I'd like to point out, though, keep in mind, as it says at the top of this page, this excludes any carryovers. We can't determine what the carryovers are until carryovers for capital projects that were approved this year until we finish the fiscal year. So you will not see those on this summary because that's developed at a later time. As you can see, if you focus on the general fund, there's $111 million that we're budgeting. It's going to be a slight decrease from fiscal 17 due to the slight decrease we've experienced in revenue this year. Only about 1.6% of where we are. So, personnel for general fund 62 million, operating 34 million, recurring capital just under 300,000. Our debt service is just about $12 million. The contribution to the school board is the $5 million again. Then we have various transfers and some rebates for various development agreements. The next 3 or 4 pages basically takes that summary page and gives you more detail according to whether it's the general fund, special revenue fund, capital projects fund, and proprietary funds. So I'm going to skip on over to, I need to take my staple out. My page numbers are hidden. Page 7, this kind of just shows you an overview and a comparison of prior years of the revenues. Fiscal 17 year-to-date column is not a very good column just because it's not a full year comparison, so we include the prior 2 years. You can see the fiscal 18 projection is about equal to what we received in fiscal 16 for the general fund. Page 8 gives you a quick summary of the proposed, all the requests that were presented in the budget for the general fund, as well as the proposed, and also compares it with prior fiscal years. Page 9 takes our payroll projection and gives you basically 10 years of data to see how that breaks down. You want to compare that along with the number of positions that have been approved in those years. Page 10 shows you for the total payroll projection for all funds, shows you where we started with fiscal 17 original budget at 67 million, and our proposed total payroll budget, which includes salary and benefits for fiscal 18, is 68.4 million. So it's only about $1 million increase. Most of that is related to normal step raises, a small increase in health insurance, as well as some decreases to offset that. Page 11 takes that by department, the salary and benefits, and breaks it down by department and shows you the percentage breakdown, as well as the percentage salaries to benefits. Of that $68.4 million, 72% is related to salaries, and the balance of 28% is related to benefits. Page 12, somebody stop me if I'm going too fast. Page 12 is a summary of the Blue Cross health insurance rates and what they will be. Page 13 includes all of the requested positions and those that are being proposed. One thing to keep in mind, the green line shows those that are being proposed, the red line totals those that are not being proposed. Page 14 includes a couple of positions that are currently vacant that will be removed. Page 15, there was a request from a part-time to a full-time position. That was not in the proposed budget. Page 16, if you're looking at our operating only, operating costs, not counting the salary and benefits, but if you look at operating for the general fund, what this page does is it kind of totals by the top 5 operating items, top 10 operating items, the top 15, and shows you what percentage of the budget it comprises. So for instance, the top 5 operating items are garbage, general supplies, software licenses, utilities, repair and maintenance, and various management services. And so they make up, in this proposed budget, 63%. But if you look at those top 15 items, they make up 90% of the budget. And it's just a quick way to see where, what the operating breakdown is. The next 4, pages 17 through 21 are all the capital project, capital item requests for the various funds. And green means they're in the proposed budget for approval. Red means they are not. Green means go, red means stop. And then the last 2 pages are 2 graphs that give you kind of an outlook of our debt service. Debt service, as we said, for the general fund comprises almost $13 million. I'm sorry, almost $12 million. The first page on page 22 shows you total principal and interest outstanding from fiscal 18 until it's extinguished in fiscal 2036. At the beginning of 2018, our principal balance that we owe is just under $109 million for the general fund. And then the last page, I went ahead and kept fiscal 16 also on there because it's good sometimes to realize where we came from. But you will see kind of we had about a 1.5 million pickup in debt service for fiscal 18. We will maintain that level for the next 5 years, and then in 2023, we will drop to about $6.5 million, and you'll see that dip on that graph as well. Questions?
Questions from the
Mr. President, I just want to only make one comment. I've been in meetings with Ms. Lopez, and really have to commend her, because she don't tell you what you want to hear, she tell you what you need to hear. And she's not going to sugarcoat it for you, and she's going to be very frank with you when it comes to tax money, and what's the appropriate way to spend it, in her opinion, based off of her education and her experience. So I really appreciate you being as truthful as possible with us, not holding back any punches.
Other comments, questions? Thank you again, Dr. Thank you, Mayor. Continuing, if anyone is present here tonight for a public hearing that was advertised to take place regarding a proposed development agreement with Broad Metro LLC, that public hearing has been moved to a special meeting to be held on Monday, September the 11th, 2017, at 5 p.m. here in the council chambers. Resolution 5638-17, Mr. Corley.
Yes, sir. Resolution number 5638-17 amends the budget for fiscal year ending September 30, 2017. There are multiple amendments and items being made part of this budget amendment.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of resolution number 5638-17.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the council? Any discussion from the audience tonight? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The resolution is approved. Resolution 5639-17, Mr. Corley.
Invitations to bid for Alford Avenue improvements and Shady Brook Lane realignment, bid number 17-024, were sent to 183 vendors listed on the City of Hoover vendor list. Bids were opened on Wednesday, August 16th, 2017. 5 bids were received. The bid from Walker Patent Company in the amount of $419,500.84 met all specifications and requirements. This resolution accepts this bid and authorizes the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract with the bidder for this amount.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of resolution number 5639-17.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. At this time, Mr. Long, would you come forward and give us a overview of this project?
Yes, sir. Related to the east-west or left-right road, there's Alford Avenue on the slide. The south approach is the existing Shady Brook. And we're proposing to bring a curve up and intersect that into Alford Avenue. And the pattern of offsets there allows for left turn lanes to be installed that do not overlap in that location. We think it'd be a very significant safety and capacity improvement for that intersection. That's what's been.
Is there any discussion from the council? Any discussion from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The resolution is approved. Mr. Long, continue on with, I'll have you continue on with 5640-17 after Mr. Corley reads the resolution for us.
Invitation to bid for turn lane improvements on Chapel Lane and Jim Wilson Jr. Parkway at Galleria Boulevard, bid number 17-26, were sent to 183 vendors listed on the City of Hoover vendor list. Bids were opened on Wednesday, August 16, 2017. 2 bids were received. The bid from Wiregrass Construction Company in the amount of $557,190 met all specifications and requirements. This resolution accepts this bid and authorizes the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract with the bidder for this amount.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of resolution number 5640-17.
Second.
Mr. Long?
Yes, sir. The striping pattern there shows that we will be resurfacing this section here of Chapel Lane and reallocating the lane approaches there to the intersection. Go to the next one. That's the approach next to Costco, and there we'll be adding another lane to the north there, another double right turn lane heading towards the interstate. During heavy shopping times, it's extremely congested intersection. Carries a lot of traffic through it, and this will be a significant improvement to that location.
Thank you. Is there any discussion from the council? Any questions? Any discussion from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Resolution is approved. Resolution number 5641-17, Mr. Farley.
Invitations to bid for Braddock Drive and Wisteria Drive roadway improvements, bid number 17-29, were sent to 183 vendors listed on the City of Hoover vendor list. Bids were opened on Wednesday, August 16, 2017. 2 bids were received. The bid from Parcel and G Construction LLC in the amount of $1,055,436.47, met all specifications and requirements. This resolution accepts this bid and authorizes the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract with the bidder for this amount.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of resolution number 564117.
Any discussion from the council? Any discussion from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The resolution is approved. Mr. Long, I believe that's the last one you have.
Yes, and that was the Braddock Drive approach Highway 31. So we'll be adding another lane approaching 31 to improve capacity of that intersection.
Thank you. Resolution number 5642-17, Mr. Farley.
Request for proposals for design build services for a climbing wall activity center, RFP number 17-16, were sent to 10 vendors listed on the City of Hoover vendor list. Proposals were opened on Wednesday, August 16, 2017. 2 proposals were received. Proposal from Walltopia Adventure in the amount of $333,207 met all specifications and requirements. This resolution accepts this proposal and authorizes the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract with the company for this amount.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution number 564317.
Second.
564217, correction.
Awesome.
Skipping ahead.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the council? Any discussion from the audience tonight? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The resolution is approved. Resolution number 5643-17, Mr. Farley.
This resolution authorizes Mayor Frank V. Mercado to execute a professional services agreement for a personnel classification, compensation, and staffing study with Gallagher Benefit Services.
Mr. President, I now move for the approval of resolution number 564317.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the council? Any discussion from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The resolution is approved. Resolution number 5644-17, Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes Mayor Frank V. Mercado to execute a usage agreement with the City of Alabaster to allow the Hoover Police Department to utilize the Alabaster Firing Range located at 2400 Highway 31, Alabaster, Alabama, for an annual rate of $18,000.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution number 564417.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the council? Any discussion from our audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Resolution is approved. Resolution number 5645-17, Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes the Birmingham Water Works to install fire hydrants in Black Ridge Phase 1 development at the locations set forth in the resolution.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution number 564517.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the council? Any discussion from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The resolution is approved. Next, we have 2 resolutions to be considered together. Resolution 5646-17 and 5647-17. Mr. Corley, will you affirm that these resolutions may be considered jointly and give their purpose?
Yes, sir. Resolution number 564617 authorizes Mayor Frank V. Mercado to execute an interjurisdictional automatic and mutual fire and EMS aid agreement with the City of Birmingham. And resolution number 564717 authorizes Mayor Frank V. Mercado to execute an interjurisdictional automatic and mutual fire and EMS aid agreement with the
Mr. President, I move for the adoption of resolutions 564617 and 564717.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the council? Any discussion from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Resolution is approved. Resolution number 5648-17, Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes Mayor Frank V. Mercado to execute an add-on quote to the Superior Application Service Provider Agreement regarding the program modification related to sales tax interest calculation changes mandated by the state.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of resolution number 564817.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the council? Any questions from the council? Any discussion from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Resolution is approved. Have a second reading of ordinance number 17-230. At the request of the applicant, this item is continued to the 9/18/2017 council meeting. Our next item is change order number 1 to the Old Columbiana Road and Deodara Road Improvement Project. Take a motion.
Mr. President, I move to approve change order number 1 to the Old Columbiana Road and Deodara Road Improvement Project.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the council? Any discussion from the audience tonight? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Change order is approved. Next item is an ABC application, 140 Special Retail Events for CS Hoover LLC. Mr. Shaw, what is this, yours?
Yes, Mr. President, I move to approve the ABC application for CS Hoover LLC.
Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Margie, is there any information that you have on this item you'd like to share tonight?
Everything's in order.
Chief,
Yes, sir.
everything in order in your part?
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion from the council? Any discussion from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion is approved. Next item is another ABC application, 140 Special Events Retail for CS Hoover LLC. Mr. Shaw.
President, I move to approve the ABC application for CS Hoover LLC.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Margie, do you have any information on this item?
Everything's in order.
Chief,
Yes, sir, we're good.
any discussion from the council? Any discussion from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The motion is approved. Payment of bills, Mr. Posey, I know that you have reviewed the bills. Are we prepared to authorize payment tonight?
Yes, sir, we are. I move for the approval of the bills as noted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Comments and questions? Are there any comments from the council tonight? Hearing none, are there any comments from our audience tonight? Anyone from the audience want to come forward and speak? Please do, sir. I think you had your hand up first. Sir, please state your name, address, favorite color.
What's that? Favorite color?
Name and address will be fine.
Will Denton. I live at 3261 Starlight Drive. Favorite color is blue. But red's cute. I'm an Ole Miss Rebel, so. Council, I know that you have heard from a few of our neighbors in regards to a street fair we have once a month. I watched a couple of videos and wanted to address just a few things that were said during those people's presentation, I guess, would say to you. Regarding, I know that y'all have going to do an improvement for our Starlight, so thank you for that. But they had concerns of, I think they called it a midway, a carnival, completely untrue. Property values by a real estate agent, nonetheless, were said to have gone down. It's completely untrue. Done nothing but go up. Attracts young people with families. that I just, thought, after watching those, I wanted to at least tell you those are untrue. Those were, I believe, the statements from a few minority, not majority, we're probably getting emails about this. Wanted to tell you what I believe, and many people believe, that street fair has done for the Star Lake area and the Green Valley community. It's brought the community together in a safe family atmosphere. I grew up in Hoover, went to Walton, Green Valley, Simmons, and Hoover High School. So I've never seen it where people know each other that well. This has revived an older neighborhood with younger people that want to fix up homes, that raise their children in Hoover, not Homewood or Vestavia, good places, but not as good as ours. Like I said, real estate agents saying that it's not true. I hope y'all can change the ordinance where the food trucks can come, but also the small vendors. I mean, we're supporting local businesses, people getting things off the ground. And they're not selling carnival food. They're selling things that are going into Piggly Wiggly, local things, hot sauces. We also have a guy bringing strawberries and tomatoes from Chilton County, which pizzas are great. He did bring some of those. So it's not funnel cakes and the carnival comment just really set me off, and the thought of a pop-up tent. Oh my goodness. I know that Mayor, you've been there, you actually brought our cake. Thank you for doing that. So I don't understand the people's outcry, but I just wanted to voice a different opinion. Thank you very much for listening.
Sure, you're fine.
If I may address, there was a infamous Facebook thread, I'm sure a lot of you read, it's been on the last few days. I just want to tell everybody that's here for this topic, I have submitted a revision to the ordinance to Mr. Rice for the two separate issues of food trucks and the street fairs. If you will give us some time to look over that, for Mr. Rice to look over that first, legal to look over that, I'm sure that we can come to some kind of compromise with that, but we need time to do it. It's something that's going to take a little bit of time to go through. We've got to read the current ordinance, understand it, look at what needs to be revised, if something needs to be revised, and get that together for both topics, because they're two separate issues. Food trucks and the street fair are two different issues that have to be approached separately with different parts of the ordinance being looked at to put that together.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
I'm here for the same exact topic, but I prepared a paper, so I'm going to read it.
Would you please
My
say?
name, yes, I will. My name is Catherine Rast Proborski, and I'm a wife and mother of two. I've spent my entire life in Hoover, except for college and first year married. Other than that, I'm a Hoover girl. My family moved to Star Lake Circle when I was 5 years old. As an adult, my parents moved to Bluff Park, where all of my siblings also live. And I stayed in Green Valley so that we could live in the home I grew up in. And when we bought that home, things were very different than they've become. I'm a Berry grad, just like my father. Mr. Green's wife was my English teacher, and I adore her so much.
Okay.
Yeah, Melody will remember me. Never been quiet, so there you go. Former city council president, Jack Wright, was my first softball coach. And Mr. Lyda and I both have daughters the same grade at Hoover High School, and they've gone through Simmons together as well. So my mom's on the library board. I've been a team mom, class mom, whole ballpark mom. And I've held positions on the PTO board at Simmons and Green Valley, where I was even the dreaded PTO president. And I want y'all to know I love this city, I appreciate y'all, and I think everything y'all are doing to make it better is wonderful. Since our family's been in this area, we've enjoyed many community events, block parties and the like. By far the most successful have been the Star Lake Street Fair. Our first gathering was held in November last year. It came about an interest poll being held on the neighborhood Facebook page, where multiple people were asked, both on Facebook and then in person people were asked. Though admittedly not every person was checked with, the responses were positive, plans were made, and in November we had our first event, then December and January, one event each month. In February, we had one additional event of an ice cream truck on a Saturday morning. March through July, 2 or 3 events were added, popsicle trucks or something like that, donuts, something like that. And someone complained about that, about the noise, which also was an infamous rant on the Facebook page. But once those complaints were made, the ones in charge said, no more pop-up, no, it'll be the once a month, every, second Thursday of the month, and that'll be all. And then we find out that there are complainers about other items. So I want to say that these events have been a great venue for the local businesses to sell merchandise, the PTO to sell t-shirts and hold other fundraisers. The Star Lake Street Fair was able to get almost $1,000 donated to the policeman, a Hoover policeman who lost his belongings in a house fire. The Star Lake Street Fair is not just about food trucks or food or vendors. It's about coming together as a community to meet neighbors and make new friends. It's about parents bringing their children to enjoy the beautiful environment. It's about grandparents and grandchildren, teenagers and toddlers, even puppies and dogs, making memories. I want to say that I can see that there's room for improvement. Traffic and parking could be improved, noise could be lessened. I want to thank the city for looking into ways to improve Star Lake. I fully support the proposed possible updates and plans, and I feel with these changes, the community events will be just about perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Yeager, 3464 Towerwood Drive. I'm just gonna wing it here because I wasn't prepared for this. So yesterday was Labor Day, and I am the president of Birch Street Pool. Got to close the pool for the summer. Kind of a sad day for my children. But we are trying to plan for next year. And next year does involve things we're trying to do for our community. And the neighborhood where Birch Street sits does value the presence of Birch Street. It's kind of a symbiotic relationship. The neighborhood takes advantage of the added value that Birch Street provides in terms of real estate values. And we get the benefit of having great members and lifeguards that are fed from that neighborhood. Two things that kind of scare me about Birch Street. First thing is 179,000 gallons, and we have a leak. So what that means is for every inch of water, we lose 2,900 gallons. If we let that pool sit for 2 weeks, we lose a foot of water. We cap there. Where that water goes, we don't know. So we are trying to see if, I saw that neighborhood improvements was a part of the budget. Birch Street is a part of that neighborhood and the surrounding. Because lots of people use Birch Street, do not exist, or do not live in that neighborhood. We don't live, we actually live right down off of Rocky Ridge Road. So there's lots of other improvements, but we're really trying to keep Birch Tree going. Our treasurer back over there keeps us in the black. We run off of membership, so that issue of repairing the leak is beyond what our budget is. Birch Tree is the only Hoover City outdoor pool. So we'd like you guys to consider, going forward with this budget, if you guys will be able to put some money into Birch Tree. So next May when we open up, we don't have any leaks, we're going to offer that service to the community right there, Birch Tree, around Birch Tree. And anybody else in Hoover who'd like to join. So, thank you. Thank you.
President, if I can make one small comment. 2016, when I was running my campaign, and many of us were as well, I was invited to Birch Street, and maybe during July and June. And there were several families out there and kids. And it was a concern at the time. I don't know where the mayor sits on it, as far as looking at it as far as budget. I know it's one of the hot topics, but we know some of them be considered, Mr. Rice or
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. We, at this point in the budget, which is not complete, obviously, we don't have any funds and any improvements for any of our ballparks or several of our recreational facilities. Now, they're all operational and functional and safe, but there are always going to be improvements and things that need to be done there. And so we support the idea of, it's a unique situation. The city owns the pool, and we have it leased to the pool corporation with a stipulation that we will provide no maintenance. Now, this is an old lease that predates, I think, everybody in office right now. So we own an asset that is beginning to fail, as you heard, and yet we have a lease that does not currently allow us to expend funds to fix it. And so taken to its logical conclusion, the pool corporation, by their own admission, does not have the money to make these repairs. So taken to its conclusion, we're going to wind up with a pool that can't be used by the pool corporation because it can't be repaired. We can't repair by our own lease. I guess they're going to hand us a broken pool back because they won't have any alternative. So then we either fix it once the lease is no longer active, or we remove it, or we abandon it. Certainly all three of those are either very expensive or very non-palatable options. So we do support the idea that if the city owns an asset, which we do, that it should be maintained and it should be made functional. Now, there are 5 or 6 different ways to go about doing that. Right now, it's just a casualty of the fact that this is a tight capital budget, as you heard the mayor explain in his comments earlier. It doesn't mean we don't support the idea of a repaired pool. It's a matter of getting the money available and deciding which route we'll take as a city to make those repairs.
Ms. Rice, thank you so much. Any way possible, we can at least have some alternatives for the budgeting time as far as what we can and cannot do.
Sure.
At least have a discussion about it and we'll move down the road.
Absolutely.
I know it's a tight budget. We're looking at our expenses and taxes and things of that nature. But
Right.
I would love as a councilperson to see that, see what options we do that.
I think that can certainly be a point of discussion in the Park and Recreation budget presentation. That would probably be the most appropriate
Thank you so much.
point. Yes, sir.
Mr. President, Mr. Rice, can the lease be reworked?
Sure. If it's mutually agreeable, I'll defer to council, but I'm assuming if it's mutually agreeable to all the parties, that we could escape that lease and create a new document.
Other questions? Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Yes, sir.
My name is Bill Richardson. I'm a resident of 1853 Diadera Drive in Hoover. Just want to make a neighborhood comment about the Star Lake. I think the city council and the mayor and planning commission have done a nice job of, let's say, circulating ideas and thoughts and that sort of thing for improvements. That brings with it some different comments and feedbacks. I have submitted, personally from myself and from my wife, some comments that were feedback to the original plans and options and that sort of thing. I think as long as communications are well developed between the city and the neighborhoods, we will work out a good kind of a solution. I will say from perhaps a different perspective, I consider Star Lake a sort of a little jewel of tranquility, very close to, a high activity level of the Galleria and that sort of thing. So a lot of people from the neighborhood walk down to Star Lake, walk around and enjoy a tranquil, friendly type of interaction. And perhaps some of the feedback, let's put it this way, and we certainly support the initial program of having a food truck on Tuesdays as a good program, and it brought out a lot of neighbors who met each other and that sort of thing. I think we have to be a little bit cautious about extrapolating on a good thing so you maybe mess it up a little bit. That's the bottom line. So therein would be a comment, we'd like to maintain the tranquility and peaceful serenity of Star Lake, and also promote, neighborhood interaction and that sort of thing. I would say that I would be personally very disappointed if the commercialization of that area moved too far.
Anyone else, any other comments before we adjourn? Just a second.
Arnold, Senior, 613 Riverhaven Place. 50 years ago, when Hoover was formed, there was a population of 407, and now we have over 85,000 people. We got there through the discussions and actions by our city leaders and volunteers over the past 50 years. 50 years ago, I worked at the New York Daily News, at that time the largest newspaper in the world. I'm sorry, in the United States, correction. This morning, sad to see that the Daily News was purchased for $1. Their Sunday circulation of approximately 2 million, back when I was working there, is now just the low several 100,000. They apparently made some of the wrong decisions as well as the industry itself. That's why I'm very happy to see the reinvigoration through the appointment of the development board that was just announced earlier today. And look for open discussion so that we can have a successful city 50 years from now, long after I'm gone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Senior. Anyone else? No, if there are no other comments, the September 5th, 2017 regular meeting of the Hoover City Council is now adjourned.
Hated the curse.